Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am JayLee. This is JLeesCorner. This is our review for Ready to Love Season 3, Episode 4. Okay? If you have not done so already, please come over to subscribe to my channel and become a whole JayBird, dun, 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 and all that goodness and stuff. Okay? Do not forget to like the video, comment in the comment section, hit the little share button, share it on your social media too. You can also follow me on IG and on Twitter at J_Lees_Corner. The links for all of that is in the description box below. I want you to also remember to always breathe it on out, to inhale and to exhale, okay, and to relax, and to relate, and to release, and to center yourself and everyone around you and all that stuff and whatnot. Okay, let's get started. So we see all the guys meet up with Tommy, okay, in the little room or whatever, and they all spaced out and everything or whatever. He tells them just how last week the women were in power and they sent home 2 men. This time the men are in power and they will have to send home 2 women at the end of this week. Okay, so again, he tells them, like, look, do not focus on who you have an attraction to, okay? You need to focus on who you have chemistry with, because it's 2 separate things. You can be attracted to somebody, but there's not much chemistry to hold that attraction past the point of what? Of the attraction and whatnot. So they have to go out and have a little time with each person or whatever and have a good time and mix and mingle, okay? So we see the first mixer going on or whatever, and we see, you know, DJ Chris, okay, with his deep old voice. So we said his little radio voice and whatever, talking with Nyla, no, not Nyla, Naya, with Naya, or the Nyla, I don't know. And he asked her if she could tell on their date that he wanted to kiss her. And as he said that, she then kissed him. He said, ooh, I want another one. And she kisses him again and again. They have a definite connection, okay? I don't think anybody can deny that. And it is mutual on both ends, okay? Now we also see Simone talking to Jay, sitting down, sipping a little bit or whatever, and he brings up how, like, on day 1, how she did not mind, you know, pulling him away from talking to somebody else. We then see the flashback footage showing him talking to, was it Denise? It was him and someone, whoever, but he, you know, she walked up and said, oh, you got a phone call in the house. And so when he got up thinking he actually had a phone call, she then said to them as they're walking away, oh, I was lying. I just wanted some time with you. So there was a little laugh and whatnot. He said he didn't mind it. You know, he appreciated her, you know what I'm saying, putting that foot forward and being forward enough to pull him out of something to talk to her. Now, Simone also brings up how she know that Joy likes Jay. But she also brings up how, but everyone likes Joy. So, you know, she can't not talk to someone that Joy likes for that reason, you know what I'm saying? Because again, he may be a leftover from Joy, and I feel like when you have one female who all the men like, or vice versa, I don't like it how anyone feels like I shouldn't talk to that person because so-and-so likes them. Y'all all are supposed to be getting to know each other, okay? This is the best time to be putting your foot forward. So I like the fact that she's at least said, like, I'm not going to not talk to him just because I know someone else likes him, that someone else has all these options or whatnot. And Jay was not saying no. Jay sat there in like a little conversation with Simone. We're gonna leave that be. Now we then see like Denise and Calfani is having a little pool place. It's the whole mixing and whatnot. And then Adriana comes over. So, you know, can I borrow him real quick? I'll bring him right back. This is this real quick. So she is then sitting down on the couch chit-chatting with Calfani. Now I feel like, did Adriana do this in any way to make Denise jealous because they little tiff at the last girls conversation of who likes who or who don't like who or whatever? Yes, I do feel like in a way she did it to be funny, okay, just to make, you know, Denise realize I can get your man too, okay? Now she brings up how, you know, she does like Rashid. Like, Rashid is her #1 person, but she also wants to get to know others or whatever. And Calfani is very attractive, and he is someone that she does not mind getting to know. Now he say, as he's sitting up there chit-chatting with her, that he also likes her too. And they on the couch giggling and laughing and enjoying each other's time. Now the whole time Denise is across the room being mighty upset. Okay, she is real upset, all on her face. She's upset on her face, on her shoulders, everywhere. And she said her confession that Adriana, is it Adriana? Oh, I don't know. Looks like a cheap floozy. Okay, talking to somebody besides Rashid. If Rashid is your man, why talk to anybody else? And I feel like, again, everybody has their number one pick, but they're still filling things out, because when it is time for elimination, you don't want just one guy to keep you here. You want to be able to have more guys feel like, you know what I'm saying, they want to keep you here, even if you're doing that so they'll keep you here for the one guy you like. I'm like, it's smart. Denise needs to be smarter. Anyway, we do see Alicia looking for a sponsor out here, you know, talking to Brian or whatever. Brian's very handsome, but Brian also seemed like, well, you know, he looked like he could be a whole player, but I like how it seemed like he's really not being a player too much. He's just also not dismissing or being like rude to the girls, like, I don't want to talk to you, whatever. But Alicia lets him know, like, you know what I'm saying, you my number one, you know. And I know that Alex likes Brian, but she ain't no Alicia. And I was like, Alicia, Alicia to me she puts out a lot of sexual energy, and I feel like it's great to have the utmost confidence within yourself, but I feel like she barking up the wrong tree, but at the same time, it's the tree that she wants. So it ain't up to me to say, don't bark up that tree because you want that tree, even if I feel like that tree don't want you. So, you know, even her telling him to his face that he is her number one, his response to me makes me feel like he know she is not what he wants. Okay? And I feel like it's because she gives off this too much sexual energy too fast and whatnot. Now, he also makes a great point in his confession. He brings up how this process of dating is different. Okay, it's completely different because you have to have an authentic interaction with each person. However, you must have many interactions with people to see who you vibe with. So it's not as simple as, I need to have this great authentic interaction with this one person. No, you have to have these authentic interactions with multiple people to be sure that you're not missing chemistry somewhere with somebody else. But it all has to be authentic or whatever. So you have to be on the hunt. And I feel like Alicia is on the hunt, but she's on the hunt with her cooch and not her heart. Okay. Anyway, we then see Joy and Denise sitting around talking or whatever, because the men out there working out. Okay, and they just and there's working out. So they watching them like some hound dogs or whatever. It was a great thing to see, but I'm gonna leave that be. But while they sit there chit chatting or whatever, Denise brings up how she wants to go on a date with Anthony and also with Rashid before she starts to, you know, only focus on California. She wants to be sure that she isn't missing something. And I'm like, of all the men she said, I was shocked at her saying Rashid. Now, I feel like and Adriana may have an actual like or attraction to California. I don't feel the same way about Denise and Rashid. So I do feel like her saying that was definitely 100% her trying to be petty and messy. Now, Joy feel like, you know, did you think Adriana got, like, you know, in her feelings at the elimination thing or whatever, that she was just mad? And she said, well, I do think she was upset or whatever. I don't care because I said what I said. Now, I feel like this whole little rip between Denise and Adriana will kind of be extended out a couple episodes, because, again, they both are fighting or have this negative energy with each other. But I do feel like Denise started it and Adriana's just keeping it going. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that Denise will let it go, but I still feel like they both need to chill the fuck out and whatnot. Okay, so we do see they have like a little group there. Okay, it was Simone, Adriana, Denise, Rashid, Calfani, and Edwin. Now, Calfani and Denise go over in the pool playing with each other or whatever. And so the remaining four sit around talking. Okay, we got, you know, Adriana Edwin with the gray hair, Rashid, you know, tall and bald, and then Simone. Now, Adriana then asked Rashid, like, what interaction have you had with Denise? You know what I'm saying? Because Denise said that you can come off like a narcissist. And he was like, what? I thought it was cool. We haven't had any, you know, weirdness, so I don't know where that came from. I'm just surprised. Adriana took it I'm going to always pronounce her name wrong. Adriana took it a step further and said, yeah, because she said that you were, you know, a narcissist because we asked her what was the reasons for it. And what she said was that she was tall and light-skinned and in the frat. And then Edwin said, well, what does any of that have to do with being a narcissist? I say that's the same thing we all said or whatever. So Adriana then say, well, I heard her say something about, you know, other little light skin or no other skin comments before, so I just wonder if her issue was the one of skin tone, which makes Rashid like, well, that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? You know, women who don't like being judged based on how they look. You know what I'm saying? I've been judged based on my skin tone before, and I'm sure that Denise has also been judged on her skin tone, so why do that to other people? You know what I'm saying? If we can't, if women don't want to be judged based on their bodies and how they look, men should have that same respect as well. And I do agree with that. And I feel like Adriana was messy for telling him all this, but what she's saying isn't a lie. So you can't be mad at her for doing it, because again, you said it. And it's gonna come out and whatnot. Okay. Now Adriana also brings up how, you know, she feels weird because again, men have told her in the past, so there's people have told her in the past how they don't like darker skinned women. Even Simone saying people have judged her because they assume that she's mixed when she actually isn't. So again, all of them has had this issue of being judged based on their skin tone, so they don't like it if Denise is going around judging folks based on their skin tone. I'm like, well, honey, it's a lot going on. But again, that was their whole conversation about how we have to be better, you know, at, you know, judging folks based on skin tone. So we do see Winter and Jay went on a date. I think Winter is so I think her smile, I think Winter is gorgeous. It's something about Winter has a positive spirit around it. Even though I don't know her, but she gives off this positive vibe, and I hope that's true, because I know she could be a horrible person. I don't know. But anyway, her and Jay have a date. I feel like they're just filling each other out. Joy also says that, you know, she's aware that I keep saying Joy. Winter says that she knows that Joy likes Jay, but she again wants to still get to know him or whatever. So they were just talking. I don't know about what. I stopped listening or whatever, because again, I felt like this was more of a filling things out date versus we both like each other and let's vibe out date. But they still had a good time nonetheless. Okay, now from there, back at the pool party, we see Denise and Kalfani at the pool chitting and chatting or whatever. And she then mentioned to him how, you know what I'm saying, I saw you hugged up. You know what I'm saying, I felt some kind of way with you, you know, being on a couch talking with, you know, Adriana or whatever. Her name may not be Adriana, or it may be, I don't know. She brings up how, you know, what Adriana likes to be in everybody's face, smiling. Okay, so I want to trust you, but I don't want to see you with somebody else all over you. I don't like seeing that. He said, I'm just going with the flow. You know what I'm saying, we just here getting to know each other. Okay, that's what we're here for. Everybody's trying to get to know somebody, but it was not a big deal. Now he tells us that he also feel like she should be confident enough in herself that even if she see him talking to somebody else, that he gonna be back like he just having a conversation. I do feel like no one at this point, probably besides Chris and Naya, should feel like the other person should not be talking to somebody else. I feel like Chris and Naya are the only ones who connected on day one on some other shit. You know what I'm saying? And they have continued to, you know, I guess grow that bond or whatnot. Not saying that Denise and Kalfani has not, but I feel like when he said, oh, we still getting to know everybody, because he's still trying to do that, whereas Chris and Nyla have, you know, found each other. At one point in this episode, she do say, Nyla does say, as a few of them were sitting around the table, that, you know, no one here besides Chris likes her. And Chris said, and why does it matter? And they then kiss. So again, they have bonded to see that they have a chemistry, an attraction, and a vibe that's unmatched to anyone else in the house. So cool with that. Anyway, we then see Alex. Well, Alex and Jay was on the date. They were just chit-chatting, okay, kayaking and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? It was a cute date. You know, when it ended, you know what I'm saying, Jay asked Alex for a kiss. It was fine. I thought, was it Jay? I don't know. It was something. Girl, it's fine. I do think it was Jay. No, it was not Jay. It was Brian. Boom, I have it right here. Brian and Alex went on a date. And this was when they were about to kiss. I wrote the wrong name down. They also have some chemistry. You can tell it within the conversation. And even with the ease of them. And that's why I said Alicia and Brian ain't gonna be no thing. Or whatever. It's just not. Because the vibe that he gives Alex is completely different than the vibe that he was giving to Alicia. With Alicia, he was just letting her say what she wanted to say and not kind of intervening in how she felt. He was not reciprocating anything to her. Boom. Okay, so it was them on a date. Okay, and then we seen Edwin and Joy on a little date, you know what I'm saying? I think Edwin may be the next guy to go home, but I'm not sure. But he brings up how he needs to put in more energy into Joy, because Joy is like a fancy, expensive car that doesn't require any advertising. Like, people come to her. They talk, okay, they chat or whatever. She brings up how she's an advocate for therapy, because after her divorce, she just knew that she needed some therapy and everything, and so she's an advocate for that. And then he brings up that, you know, he did at one point try therapy. He only went for one session. And she asked him, well, how have you dealt with your PTSD? Because again, he was in Iraq. He was also a sheriff and everything. And he brings up how the reason he tried the one therapy session was because he battles with the idea of death. With what he saw, again, being a sheriff and being in Iraq, you know, a lot happened. He said to deal with his PTSD from that, he uses his cooking. His cooking is his coping and his therapy. It's his cooking is his therapy for, you know, all the things he's went through. Some people, you know, do think differently, and I do think if cooking is what helps him deal and express himself and, you know, get over or through his PTSD from all of that, I think it's a good thing. But he admits he's not like against therapy, and that he does think eventually he will possibly try it. But, you know, right now he is cooking. So theirs was an okay date. It was a great conversation. So I guess it was a starting point. But we don't leave that beat. Now we do see all the folks hanging out by the pool, chitting and chatting or whatever. And Rashid asked Edwin, you know, with the whole thing about police and all these things going on currently, like what his feelings are about that, considering again he was a cop. And so he's giving his opinion and giving examples of this and that and that and this. And we then see Shay. Now Shay, I did not even know that she was on this show until this right moment. I kept seeing her like walking around, or I would see in previews of her talking. I kept on saying, who is that? Like, I haven't seen, like, is she on the show for real? And so I didn't know who she was. Her name is Shay. Shay gets up and walks away from that conversation. And it was like 5 or 6 people, you know, in the pool listening, talking or whatever. But she gets up and she walks away and said that she almost fell asleep because it was a boring conversation. She ain't here for all that she's here for love. I feel like Shay's messy ass, and y'all would know why I say she's messy later on, but I feel like Shay messy ass will go home next, because I have not seen her on Not Nan Day. I did not know that she was even on the show. I have not heard any man say Shay my favorite. Like, no one has talked about Shay. So a few folks noticed it or whatever, that she got up and they heard her say that, Edwin being one of them. And Edwin said to, I think, Adriana, that he noticed that she got up and left, and he heard her say it was boring or whatever. He said for him, that's a notion that, you know, she is not the one for him. He couldn't date anyone like her, because whoever he dates, like, this would be something they would do. They would be having conversations about things of the world. And if you can't sit here and have a conversation with other adults about things of the world, what the fuck? Okay, and so we then see Winter. And Winter says she feel like that the only time she has an issue, she feels something weird with Jay, is when Joy is around. So when Joy, big hair Joy, is around Jay, bald head man, there's a difference, because again, she know that they like each other, or that Joy or whatever. And so she then asks Jay, hey, can we talk? I think we need to have a talk. And they went up to her room to talk. Now again, everyone was at the pool and pool clothes and whatnot. None of the men had shirts on. The women had on swimsuits or whatever. So they got the pool. Got a burp? I don't know. They got the pool and they go up to her room. Now Simone say her room is next to Winter's room. So she saw Jay go into Simone's room. Simone says she saw Jay go into Winter's room and he didn't have no shirt on. So why would that happen? You know what I'm saying? And he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. I'm looking like, how do you as a grown woman, as a lawyer, see two adults on a dating show go into a room and you say because he did not have a shirt on, they was doing something? They're supposed to be hanging out. Like, ain't that what y'all supposed to be doing? Simone, you messy. You messy. Okay, anyway, again, no one has picked a person except Chris and Naya. That's it. So again, Jay going, and as they're walking, you hear her, it's like, yeah, we finna go talk. Like, we have to have a talk. Now, could she have been sending to cover up and she want to bang that man? Yes. But at the end of the day, Simone, why you worry about it? Unless you like Jay, why you worry about it? But I'm going to leave that be. So, we then have that night, okay? And Adriana brings up how, it's this tension between me and Denise. I don't know why, but we need to address it. So she then asks Denise, hey, can we talk? Boom, pow. So the two ladies have a conversation or whatever. And so she asks Denise about the whole narcissist comment about Rashida, and she can explain what she meant by, the whole tall, light skin, and the frat part that really had nothing to do with being a narcissist. Denise then replied and said, I said people use things to cover up their insecurities, and I don't know what his insecurity is, but I can see the signs. I said to myself, first of all, that don't answer the question of what the skin tone of fraternity affiliation and him being tall have to do with being a narcissist. It was the weirdest explanation or response to the question at hand. It didn't make any sense, but whatever. She then say that had nothing to do with you. So why are you talking to me about it? Is it because you feel like Rasheed's your man? That's what it is. And Adriana said, look, I know I said that Rasheed was my number one, but I also said that Kafani was my number two, okay? And at the end of the day, we are still here. We're at the beginning stages of getting to know one another. And, we still out here filling out situations. Anyway, Denise then brings up how, you felt like it was okay to come at me about this. You also felt like it was okay for you to come get Calfani when you seen him and me playing pool. Like, you felt like that was the right time to do that. Why not give me respects and not talk to him? I'm looking like, why do you feel like no one else can talk to him because you like him? Like, it's weird. It's just, girl, it's a dating show, bitch. It's a dating show, and sometimes the man you like, someone else may also like him. You can't make it feel like, they can't talk to him because it's just me and him. If that's the case, y'all both should leave the show. Adriana then say how, you don't even give me respect. I'm saying, you out here coming at me like I'm trying to talk to you, and you out here talking at me, coming for me, and I don't know why. Denise then said, well, let me listen to my story, okay? I was in an abusive relationship. I was missing for 4 days. I almost died or whatever, and there are things that Rasheed does that are triggering for me because it reminds me of that. So at least she admitted it had nothing at all to do with him as a person. It really was her taking out her past issues on him, okay? And Adriana said, well, I respect you for what you've been through, whatever, and you being honest with me and telling me what it really was. But in the confessional, she said how, it's not fair that the fact that Rasheed is not her ex, so she should not be able, or she should not be trying to take out her past pain on him for something he had nothing to do with, okay? And so they kind of shake hands. They, say, well, no big issue, whatever. They walk away with it not being an issue. But she then talks to Rashid and tells him what happened and how she handled it. Now, I like that she even went, for me with someone. Like, it shows me that she does, like me or whatever. I feel like Denise full of shit. Not that her story and her past and her hurt is not valid to her. Not that, but I feel like you should not be on the show if you can't be but you can't be coming at someone simply because they remind you of someone else. You ain't ready for love because you not over that past hurt, that past hurt and pain, mama. But I'm gonna leave that be. So we do see Alicia and Brian on a date because she said she had been waiting for him to ask her and he had not yet, so she just kind of did it herself. I said again, she don't read the room. Okay, this whole conversation to me proves that Alicia don't know how to read no room. Okay, now he was very respectful. Okay, told her she was attractive. Okay, and that she does have a good vibe. He said all that, but I feel like the questions he was asking her, I felt like he was asking the questions to make her ask herself those same questions. Okay, he said, what do you like about me? Why do you feel like you are ready to love? How receptive would your children be to have a man around? And are your kids spoiled? And I felt like, had she asked herself those questions yet? I don't think she has. I think he feels like she wants what she wants on a surface level. And on a surface level, he looks like what she wants. And he feel like she not reading the room to see he don't want her in that way. She like, I like your conversation. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm ready to love because I take care of my kids. And at the end of the day, when I'm done taking care of my kids and I go to bed, I don't want to go to bed alone. She also brings up her kids do want a stepfather around. So they would be okay with any man who can be a stepfather around, and that her kids are spoiled but they're respectful. And I'm like, none of that was a notion that she is someone that he wants to be with. I felt like, again, she just wasn't. I feel like that was a thing of her not reading the room. Okay, now he does walk her back to her room. And, she's like, oh, you want to come back later, like to watch some movies? And again, she's not reading the room. Nothing he said or done, at least what we can see, is a notion that he wants to spend more time with her alone. Okay, one thing is, you said out your mouth, he did not even ask you on a date, even though you told him earlier or a day or two ago that that he was your number one. If he don't talk to you, leave that man be and whatnot. But he like, oh, maybe y'all come back later. Then he leaves. But, he do tell her she cool or whatnot. But I'm like, he don't want you. And she not reading that shit anywhere on her face. So we then see Jay and Joy sitting around talking. And Simone come pop up and sit down with them too. Now Simone then say, so I saw you went into Winter's room with no shirt on. Okay, so what's that about? And he like, we ain't had not near conversation all day. When you walk up and sit down and you want to have a discussion about a conversation I had with Winter. And I feel like Simone walking up saying like you went in her room with no shirt on was messy and petty because none of the men had a shirt on. Y'all was at the pool. All the men had on just shorts. Okay, y'all at the pool. Me and C. And Jay makes it clear because Joy like, what happened? What was that? What was that about? He like, look, I wasn't out here having sex with her, whatever. We had a conversation and that's what it was. But I feel like, again, Simone, you're messy. That was messy. It was really, really, because it wasn't any reason. And she brings up how, well, I would have told Joy this anyway it goes. So I'm saying, I'm just trying to see what was going on. Girl, just bullshit all up and through. Now we then see after Brian dropped Alicia off at her room, left her there. She asked him, will he come back later for some movies? He said, yeah, I'll come back. But he left. He could have stayed and did. I'm going to leave that be. He left her room. Where did he go? Down the hall to Alex's room. Because, again, he likes Alex. He likes Alex. He has chemistry with Alex. That's who he likes and whatnot. And when she sees, she's like, oh, hey. Because he popped up. He said, I just want to come see you and say goodnight. and said, "How was your day?" And she's like, "Oh, thank you, whatever. Where have you been?" Because again, Alicia pulled him off. Well, some things happened or whatnot, but I came back here because I wanted to see you. So they in the door, chitting and chatting. As it's going on, messy ass Shay see him at Alex's door. So her nosy ass goes and she's watching them, but she then goes to Alicia's room and tell Alicia that Brian is at Alex's door talking to her. So then her and Alicia go and they watching, and she sees him at Alex's door. He does kiss her a couple times and whatnot in the door, but he then says, "Okay, good night, I'll talk to you later." Then he leaves. He goes back to his room. So now Alicia pissed, saying that Jay is a liar because he did not tell her that he was going to Alex's room. I'm looking like, he don't want you, mama. Let it go. So my thing is, I think that Shay and Alicia should be sent home next. Those should be the two females that goes home. Anyway, that was our episode, y'all. Hope y'all liked. I'm done. Peace.